Baki soul chronoalchemy, sacred time, creative flow, and conscious prosperity. Quantum opening time becomes a living temple, the calendar an altar of luminous choices, and the body the subtle clock that marks the pulse of truth. Every minute receives a purpose. Every hour names a value. Every day rewrites destiny with calm, focus, and intelligent love. Eye deep gaze, the inner solar clock. In the center of the chest, a solar clock hums, built of attention. The light of awareness descends and casts a clear shadow on the ground of your decisions. Where the ray falls, a sacred limit is born. Where the shadow returns, a nourishing rest opens. Time drops the mask of executioner and remembers its nature as ally. It does not chase, it accompanies. It does not squeeze, it shapes. It does not cut, it chisels. A pilgrim learns the dance. First, the pilgrim runs after tasks as if they were untamable comets. Then, the pace slows, the gaze lifts, and every comet becomes an ordered constellation. 4 archetypal guardians awaken in the heart of the pilgrim. The sovereign, who prioritizes and blesses. The warrior, who protects the margins and executes with simplicity. The magician, who redesigns beliefs and rhythms. And the lover, who keeps human warmth inside the structure. When these 4 cooperate, the day breathes, the week blossoms, and the life sings. Chronoalchemy reveals that time is not managed, it is honored. The clock does not command, it converses. The calendar does not enslave, it consecrates. Productivity ceases to be a whip and becomes a river that irrigates the soil of purpose. Distraction melts, hollow urgency dissolves. The soul sits on its throne within the agenda. Nafule Devine 2, Scientific and Psychological Foundations, the Nerve of Rhythm. Humanistic psychology reminds that self-actualization germinates when behavior aligns with core values. Time use becomes a mirror of inner hierarchy. What is scheduled exists. What is not evaporates. Congruence and authenticity arise when structure reflects the heart, not the fashions of the environment. Transpersonal psychology widens the map toward states of consciousness and soul purpose. The form of the day orients to inner expansion and service, not only to output. Contemplative practice activates sustained attention networks and reduces mental noise, turning time into a channel of revelation rather than a funnel of anxiety. The neuroscientific lens offers operative keys. Neuroplasticity. Habits of procrastination and compulsive multitasking are trainable circuits. Deliberate repetition, somatic anchors, and precise language carve pathways of serene efficiency. And executive attention. Deep work in 45 to 90-minute blocks with restorative pauses optimizes working memory and creativity. Polyvagal. Physiological safety enables presence. A nervous system in ventral calm sustains focus without friction. 4 to 6 breathing, orienting the gaze to the room, and feeling the ground under the feet stabilize state so creation proceeds without leaks. An energy ecology replaces the tyranny of the clock. Performance is not only hours, it is quality of state. Hormonal fuel, hydration, natural light, and restorative sleep become partners to the calendar. Negotiation shifts from guilt to physiology and values. Dora, thread, biodecoding applied. When the body writes on the calendar, the body inscribes the relationship with time as if on living parchment. Migraines and temporal headaches reflect excess mental pressure and contradiction between real rhythm and desired rhythm. Bruxism and tight jaw reveal postponed decisions and yeses that bit the truth of a no. Lower back pain speaks of loads assumed without support or limits. Gastritis and acidity indicate incomplete emotional digestions from schedules saturated with what belongs to others. Irritated skin. Shouts of invaded borders by notifications and unfiltered demands. A path of liberation moves in 3 phases. 1. Recognize. The symptom as a temporal message. Name it in sensory language. Heat in the forehead, knot in the pit of the stomach, rigidity in the back. 2. Reorder. A micro-habitat in the calendar, 10 to 20-minute buffers between appointments, quiet windows without notifications, blocks of creative silence. 3. Re-imprint. The body with breathing, movement, and micro-decrees while executing a concrete limit. The musculature learns that a loving no discharges the system and enables a luminous yes. A symbolic case illustrates the alchemy. A creative therapist with dermatitis flares during launches discovers that she promises beyond what her body can sustain. She establishes a real capacity ritual. Clear cap on sessions per day, 1 sacred day of weekly silence, and a response script for extra requests. The skin calms when the calendar becomes truthful. Daris 4. Quantum NLP tools. Reprogram space, language, and state. 1. Sovereign Rhythm Charter. 1 page, read aloud for 21 days. Identity. I am ordered presence and my time expresses my values. Triad of values. Service, beauty, health, or those that apply. Green list. Activities that receive an automatic yes. Amber list. Requires reflection or negotiation. Red list. Automatic no. Repair clause. 48 to 72-hour window to reroute agreements. 2. Submodalities of the deep block. A vivid reminder of a moment of full focus. Increase brightness, bring it closer, raise contrast, and anchor it with a subtle finger gesture. Before starting a block, fire the anchor with a long exhale. The brain learns to enter workshop mode with a single key. None. 3. Swish against procrastination. Image A. Postponement, tense shoulders, screen full of tabs. Image B. First micro step delivered, broad breathing, clarity. Place B as a small image in the corner of A and perform a rapid swish, so B expands and replaces A. Repeat quickly 5 to 7 times and test somatically. The body begins to choose the simple start over the complex delay. Idea. 4. 5 body ecology. Check a brief scan before accepting: physical, emotional, mental, relational, and spiritual. If 3 bodies signal cost without compensation, postpone or decline with love. Operational ethics become simple when the biosystem speaks. 5. Script of clear language. I appreciate the invitation and I choose not to participate. It works if it fits this scope and these dates. I will respond on her day after reviewing priorities. I am protecting this focus block and will reconnect later. I value the relationship and I need to keep a calm tone to continue. 6. Creative timeline. Float above the life axis and install. Gold milestones. Minimum viable delivery, silent review, closing with gratitude. The nervous system visualizes and rehearses. The unconscious mind receives a noble map. The body stops resisting because it already knows the path. 7. The 4 rhythm matrix. Root rhythm. Sleep, food, movement, silence. Heart rhythm. Bonds and service. Mind rhythm. Deep focus and learning. Spirit rhythm. Contemplation and art. Each day receives small doses of all 4. Prosperity is intelligent distribution of energy, not disordered accumulation of tasks. The Kympavei, spiritual perspective and Christic consciousness, love with a spine. Christic consciousness invites an operative, compassionate and true love. Mercy embraces, truth orders. Rest becomes sacrament, work becomes offering. The limit arises as an act of care that protects the mission and honors the dignity of the other. The Buddhist vision of emptiness illuminates. The forms of the day are empty of inherent solidity and still function by cause and effect. Non-attachment is not coldness. It is freedom to choose from clarity. The agenda becomes a mandala, every appointment a flower, every silence a sacred space, every closing a mantra of gratitude. Sufi alchemy polishes the heart mirror, Kept promises shine like gold. Sincere repairs dissolve rust. A coherent calendar becomes a mystical path. Less friction, more light, more service. The economy of the soul blossoms when presence is distributed like just rain. 6. Integrative ritual. 28-day sacred calendar. Derakuo as morning. Consecration of the day. 1. Axis posture. Feet to earth, crown to sky, jaw soft. 2. 4 to 6 breathing for 3 to 5 minutes. 3. Decree. My time is a temple. My focus is an offering. My love is living structure. 4. Triangle of intention. 1 impact task, 1 maintenance task, 1 joy task. 5. Blocks. 2 deep blocks of 45 and 90 minutes separated by nourishing pauses. Midday, micro-Sabbath. 1. Conscious silence. 10-15 minutes without screens. 2. State check and re-anchoring with the chosen gesture. 3. Minimal gratitude for 1 action completed. Doma, night, golden close. 1. Register small wins and learnings. 2. Release residues with long exhales and gentle stretches. 3. Bless tomorrow with 3 clear lines in the agenda. Dhammas. Weekly. Liturgy of rhythms. 1 day with extended silence of 3 to 4 hours for creation or contemplation. 1 block of Phai, relationship and community, without multitasking. 1 space for material order, finances, filing, cleaning. 1 art ceremony, music, writing, painting, dance. Thus, 28-day cycle, renewal. Days 1-7, somatic foundation and external order. Days 8-14, creative depth and prototypes. Days 15-21, sharing, co-creating, adjusting. Days 22-28, harvest, celebration, long rest. Turbu. 7, practical scenarios, field manual. Dorpupo, entrepreneurship and service. Publisher, response policy, and talk scopes, in writing. Define seasons for program opening and closing. Design scholarships and discounts as predefined strategies, never as a reaction to pressure. Bonds and family. Agree on windows for help and rhythms of presence. Honor domestic rituals as sacred work. Close the day with a gesture of tenderness and a kind limit on screens. Digital world. Notifications in curated swan mode. Weekly deletion of apps or accounts that drain. Conscious writing of messages with a footer of communication norms. Money and projects, price from real capacity and delivered value. Cash cycles with fixed dates. Brief stand-up-in-style meetings with 1 or 2 key indicators. Decades, Veit, field architecture, advanced energy techniques. 1. Golden torus. Around the body, circular breathing and a seal of intelligent permeability. 2. Violet flame in the solar plexus to transmute hollow urgencies. 3. Boundary mudra. Palms outward for 3 breaths, palms to sternum for 3 breaths. 4. Spatial geometry. A candle or plant as a sentinel of attentional perimeter. 5. Voice tone. Sustained before speaking about time, prices or limits. Data 9. Repair and cycle closures. Errors and overflows find medicine in simple honesty. Name impact, offer the next step, and re-establish the edge with respect. When a cycle ends, give thanks, revoke invisible contracts through conscious writing, and bless the fertile empty space. Peace returns, and the inner clock begins to mark light again. X. Time economics. Prosperity as designed overflow. Time and attention function as primary capital. Elegant distribution compounds trust, clarity, and outcomes. Profitability becomes ethical when the agenda protects health, communication reduces friction, and creativity receives spans of silence. Prosperity takes form without guilt because it is born of balanced ecologies. And integration, living constitution of rhythm. Charter, language, breathing, and rituals converge. The sovereign prioritizes, the warrior executes, the magician reprograms, the lover humanizes. The day vibrates like a score and the soul like a tuned instrument. The work is delivered without tearing the inner fabric. Rest fertilizes. Service shines. Time becomes an intimate ally. 1. High vibration. Close master aphorism. Loving order, prosperous time, luminous work. 24-hour quantum challenge. Complete one deep block of 45 or 90 minutes with the phone in another room, a single task, a start with 4 to 6 breathing, and a close with 3 lines of gratitude in your notebook. Activation code. Touch sternum and lower belly, whisper 3 times. Temple time, golden focus, love structure. And feel the field respond. Con amor, Andrew.